What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Just Gonna Say It podcast on Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. That's what we're doing today. September 23rd. Can you believe it's fall? It's crazy. I don't know where the summer went. I don't know. Nuts. Been busy. Anyway, this is an ad-free podcast. So the way you can support the channel is watch or listen on the podcast platforms when I actually put it up onto the stuff later this week, Spotify and all that. The other thing you can do is you can use a super chat to ask a question, or just because you think that's awesome. You don't have to, but you can do that as well. You can go to DylanTalksTone.com or any of the links right here to support the channel. I decided to start I've been doing these videos, going through comments and kind of interacting with folks. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that for the members too. So YouTube members and Patreon members, you'll see a video I put up yesterday. And I'm going to keep doing that. Probably do another one tomorrow. Be a few. I just want to put more content out for the members, for Patreon members and YouTube members. So we're going to try that. It's going to be pretty cool. I dig that a lot. Today, the other thing is we released a new set of pickups yesterday. So go to DylanTalksTone, check that out. They're awesome. I've been playing them. They're in this guitar right here. And this guitar is actually for sale. I've been playing them, and they're really, really good. So, yeah, man, super cool. So today we're going to talk about how ineffective I really feel like reviews are. And I want to talk about this because it is my opinion that gear reviews really, when it comes down to it, are... it's gear you'll never buy, in a room you'll never play in, with the rest of the rig you'll never have, playing the way that you never play. You know what I mean? When you see something like this on YouTube. And I just feel like they're more entertainment than they are truth or useful. That's not to say they're not useful. We'll get into it. But I think the way we look at reviews and A/B tests and stuff like that as guitar players and as consumers also can help with how effective they are, if that makes sense. So we're going to talk about that. Oh, hang on. We got a super chat from Dastardly Dave, and he... Ad-free. Yep. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I want to get your opinion also on how much you use reviews to make decisions and what you do and how you do it. Have you watched a review on YouTube or some other place and bought the piece of music gear and then been disappointed because it did not live up to what you thought the review would do? I think the opposite thing can happen too. I think that folks... because I run a pickup company, I think, and this is where my brain goes, I think that folks watch a review, do not understand the review, and then do not buy the product, when in actuality, that product is probably perfect for them. Whether it be a pedal or a pickup or something that's harder to do a review for, or even a guitar, okay, or even an amp. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So there's a few reasons, I think, why guitar reviews and A/B tests and stuff do not translate well to a lot of products in the music space. There's a lot of other places where they do, car reviews, even, like pocket knife reviews, if a person says I used it a bunch and I never had to sharpen it, and this is what I used it on, okay, I can get a relatively good idea of, how tough that knife is, or what, how it does and how it works, and etc. Of course, we watch reviews for all kinds of things. I think, let's see. So Kevzilla says, your demos are brief, so I don't skip through these. Others, I listen to 10 to 20% of the playing demo. Okay, that's interesting, and I want to know why. So expound on that if you would. And others, if you have thoughts like that, get in the comments, and we're going to talk about this some more. So first of all, let's look at the reasons why it's not effective. The reasons A/B tests and reviews are not effective is because everybody's rig is different. Okay. So, where we hear this all the time. So everybody always says this, right? Like, well, an amp can make a huge difference, or the speaker can make a huge difference, or the room that you're playing in can make a huge difference. You're right. Absolutely. So what are you looking for when you watch a review of an instrument or a pedal? Or, you're not going to have the same microphone as me. You're not going to have the same, probably won't have the same, anything like that. You're not going to have the same stuff as me. It's just you're not going to play the same. Your hands aren't going to be the same. Tone is in the hands, bro. You're not going to have, you're not going to play like me, right? You're not going to use the guitar the same way I do. And then when we start to look at the production of it, okay, so let's see. What is Matt Sanders just said? I use reviews to judge the integrity of the reviewer. That's an interesting thing, because that's about what I was about to say, is because there is a lot of ways. Now, we try to be as transparent as we can about this on our channel, but still it's impossible, right? It's kind of impossible. We don't do any post-production, right? So what you hear is what I hear, except it's not, because I'm in the room with an amp, right? So, like, for example, yesterday when we did that pickup review on that pickup intro, those pickups that just came out, I just took the Princeton, put all the knobs on 7, like I always do, and plugged it into GarageBand, shut off EQ and compression and any of the auto stuff that's in the GarageBand, just so it's straight in, and then just dumped it into Final Cut and hit upload. Like, I don't do any post-production. I don't do any normalizing of levels. I don't do anything, right? So what you hear is what you hear. Now, could I make it sound better? Oh, for sure. I could probably spend an hour in post-production making the guitar tones sound huge, but I don't think that's fair, because you're going to play it in your room with, you probably can play it with some delay. You're probably going to play it with some whatever. Oh, that's the other extreme. People are like, why don't you play it totally dry with no reverb and no effects? I can't tell what the pickups are really doing. That's BS, because nobody plays like that, right? So I just am like, this is realistic. This is realistically how people are going to use this, so this is how I'm going to do it. The problem is that you don't always know. There's a lot of compression that happens that I can't control because internet. And there is a lot of compression that creators can control, and other post-production stuff. So it can be very inconsistent. Now, it might even be that reviewer, somebody reviewing a guitar or whatever, or a set of pickups or a pedal or whatever, is not even doing it on purpose. It's possible that they're not even doing it on purpose. It's just that it's very difficult to be consistent. So when you do like an A/B test between this amp and that amp, or this speaker and that speaker, a lot of times, for example, it'll be cheap guitar versus expensive guitar. You just can't trust those, because I don't care what anybody says. You don't play a cheap guitar the same way you play an expensive guitar. You don't approach it the same way, because they feel different. If I play that Chibson thing that I bought and sent back versus my custom shop Gibson, I'm not going to even play it the same. The way I grab the guitar, literally the way I pick the guitar up and hold it in my lap is going to be different, because it's different. So, which means that the guitar is going to sound different, or I'm going to approach it different. There's going to be differences that cannot be quantified in just, okay, I'm listening to A/B tests. Now, the other problem is that there is this. So I'll give you an example of this. Somebody made a comment, and I don't disrespect this person. Obviously, he, as we all are, can be very skeptical of things that we see on the internet, right? Obviously. And I think we should be. Obviously. So I almost kind of give this guy kudos for that. And he's like, you guys remember that I got one of those, like, it was like this iridescent Ibanez Geo thing, like a $250 guitar, and I put new pickups in it. And the stock pickups were terrible. Like, so terrible. And he's got in the comments and kind of read me the riot act about how I made that guitar sound bad on purpose so that my guitar would sound good. And I was like, man, I hate to hear that, because we literally do everything the same every time, all the time. It's very, very consistent. And so that's how I know. I'm like, this is why I know that it's inaccurate. We had somebody say the other day, I have these guitar fetish pickups and they sound better than your pickups according to this video. I'm like, no, they don't, but okay, I got to give you that, because there's no way to really reference that, right? Another one that we get all the time is, I'm going to buy the Enya carbon fiber guitar because it sounds better than the McPherson. Okay. You can tell yourself that because that guitar's cheap, that it sounds good for the money, or whatever you want to call it, or just as good as, or whatever, but it does not sound just as good as in person. Maybe I'm not as good at recording the stuff, whatever. It doesn't matter. When you can really tell the difference between two things, and then somebody says the opposite, that basically proves over a long period of time. I'm not saying with one video. I'm just saying in general over YouTube, right? That this misconception that people think that you can remove bias by doing an A/B test, that you can do some science on the internet and therefore prove that this speaker's better than that one, this guitar is better than that one, this pickup is better than that one, etc. Now, if it's very drastic and there are specific things you can point to, then it's helpful. But a lot of times, if you are a person who has 17 Harley Bentons and you don't like Gibson, and I play a new Gibson and then I play a Harley Benton, which I won't on this channel, you're going to say, I like the Harley Benton. Doesn't matter what the A/B test says, because you already know the answer to the question before you ask it, or you already assume how you're going to feel about something before you ask the question, right? Confirmation bias. Isn't that what they call that? On top of that, if we do it at your house versus do it at my house, it's going to sound different. If we move the microphone this much, it's going to sound different. And then the other thing is, most guitar players, and I'm just going to say this is my just going to say it moment for the day. Most guitar players cannot actually tell the difference in an actual blind test. So if you're in the same room with me and I give you a guitar with a rosewood fretboard and a maple fretboard, you can't tell the difference. If I give you a guitar that's ash versus alder, you can't tell the difference. If I give you a rich light versus ebony, that was a big one we did a bunch of times, you can't tell the difference. For a lot of these things that people, really, really like get their hackles all up over, a lot of this stuff in real life, when really kind of put your feet to the fire, most guitar players cannot tell the difference. And I say most, there are very skilled folks who play all the time, who are very familiar, I'm sure can. So I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying the majority of consumers on a consumer level, which is what most of us are. Most of us are not, and I'll put myself in this, most of us are not experts about this stuff, right? Most of us are just consumers of the thing. So just because we've bought 20 guitars doesn't mean that we are an expert in it enough to where we can be like, oh yeah, I can tell the difference between all this stuff. Most of us are just consumers, and like, there's a blue one, so I want a blue one, and there's a red one because I want a red one. Now I have two. That doesn't make you an expert, just makes you really like guitars. And I think most of us just really like guitars. So we're not going to really be able to tell the difference. So that bias, that confirmation bias that comes from this, I think is a real thing. Which is really, really a thing that I think a lot of us could stand to be more honest with ourselves about. Let's see. Here's another thing that I think about. I got notes here. That your ear will adapt to what you're used to. Okay. So And this is fairly scientific, right? So if you, if you have a fan on in your room all the time, I could walk in there and be like, dang, it's noisy in here. And you have it on all the time and it's just normal. You shut it off and you're like, holy crap, all of a sudden it's quiet. What's missing, right? Like those of us who sleep with a fan on. The same thing with guitar stuff. What we are used to all the time, especially if we use the same thing all the time, we just get used to it all the time. So we kind of like mess up our own results, if that makes sense. Because of that. Let's see. Let's go through some of these comments really quick. I'm going to go back up here. Hang on one second. I can hear what I need to hear quickly, and there isn't just that much to gain to listening. I want the player's opinions. Okay. That's interesting. Because a lot of times the ding-dongs in the comments spend most of their time talking about how you talk too much and you should play more and accept that your tone is all wrong and you're doing it all wrong and you should use different speakers and different microphones and they're telling you how to do it. And I'm like, start a YouTube channel. You should try it. These days you have to take reviews with a grain of salt. There are so many out there that are paid for that you have to find a solid source for your info that you can trust and stick to that reviewer. That's a big one. That is a big one because affiliate dollars are a thing. It's honestly, it's not how I make my living, but it's a lot of how a lot of folks make their living. And you can always tell when somebody makes money from affiliate dollars from various companies, right? You can tell that Rob Chapman makes a lot of affiliate dollars from Harley Benton because he freaking reviews every little thing that he gets. There's a bunch of guitar. Harley Benton's a good example because they do have a good affiliate program. I've been offered it many times and I always say no because I don't want to. But and the other thing is, how transparent are you, right? So if we're about to do, I'll just tell you right now, we're StewMac affiliate. So I make a percentage every time somebody uses one of my links to buy a StewMac product. That being said, I have been a StewMac fan for a decade. I've only been a StewMac affiliate for like a year, but I've been buying tools from them for like 10 years. You know what I mean? So maybe 2 years I've been an affiliate with them, something like that. Way before. I actually had somebody email me this morning and they said, we'd like to send you this product and we'd like you to review it on your channel. And the only thing that we ask in return is that you take a picture of it take a picture of yourself with it and put it on Instagram. And if you would like, the creator of the product will come on your podcast. And I was like, I emailed him back and I was like, that sounds interesting. And I would be interested to have the conversation. However, since I know nothing about this product, I'm not going to tell you right now that I can endorse it or that I just want to be like, hey guys, everybody should buy this thing and be cheesy on my Instagram about it. It's just a weird approach. I've gotten a lot of stuff like that. So yes, money can change how a review comes out. That being said, I think you as the viewer, me as the viewer too, need to give folks that are trying to review a product some grace here. Because there are, I'm just going to call them dorks in the comments, okay? Who no matter what will say, well, you were paid to say that, and because you get an affiliate dollars, then I can't believe anything you say. Okay. If you don't trust me, don't watch. Don't buy anything from me. I don't care. But just know that there's two sides to that, right? And as somebody who's trying to review a product and give you the best picture of it, sometimes it's just good. Sometimes stuff is good. And you know what? The majority of the time it is. Is every piece of gear for everyone? No, we talked about that last week. But almost every piece of gear made in 2025, almost, is actually pretty good. And there are good things that can be said about most things, and there are reasons to buy most things. Some of those reasons may not apply to you as a consumer, but most things are pretty dang good for someone, even if it's not for you. So if I, and if I like Gibsons, right? I like them. I got 3 of them. I think they're awesome. From different price points. I think they're great. So does that mean that you can't believe anything that I say about a Gibson? I mean, that's up to you. I can't choose that. I can't determine that for you. That's up to you. But does that mean because I like them that I'm like glossing over something or that I'm whatever? No. I'll tell you that the guitar that I bought in 2019, the quality of it was not as good as the one I bought in 2021. I'll tell you that. The one I bought in 2024, impeccable. Perfect. There has definitely been an improvement and change over time. Was it ever really as bad as everybody says? No. But I'll give you, there has been an improvement. And I'm happy for that. And I'm glad because the cheapest Gibson I have is the one I bought in 2019. It had a couple of little funky things with a couple of frets that I fixed. And then this one, this Les Paul I bought in 2022 or something, is fantastic. I freaking love this guitar. It's amazing. It's been great. There's been nothing wrong with it ever. And it was more expensive than the other one. And then, of course, I bought a custom shop one this year, and it's unbelievable. Or last year. So just because I like a thing doesn't mean I'm lying about it. It doesn't mean I'm glossing over anything. Of course, there's going to be the folks who be like, well, yeah, but the peg heads fall off. Well, they don't. Don't drop your guitar. Peg heads come off as a result of negligence or accident. They never come off by themselves. So, there is that. Let's see. I've never made a purchase based on a YouTube review, but I do like to see the inside. Okay, that's cool. I dig that. I've watched many new Boss pedal vids. Yeah, I get it. Still not sold on it. I can understand that. My new take on it, not a new take. It's been my take the whole time, but I think I'm really leaning into this part of it, Dave, is that if you want an excuse to have a bunch of vintage pedals, but you don't want to have all the vintage pedals, so it's a nostalgia piece for guys like me and you in our age bracket. That's what I would say. Is Boss pedals are cool. They're not the best thing ever, but they are a snapshot of a moment in time and of years of this kind of music. And you think about Prince and you think about, Rob Zombie and there's we can think of all kinds of artists who used a bunch of Boss pedals, right? So if you have that nostalgia piece that you're interested in, but you don't want to buy all the pedals, then it's great. And I think that's what it's for. It's more of a nostalgia piece. I'm against free gear for a review. The friend face thumbnails are absolutely laughable. Okay, so here's the thing about that. YouTube creators don't really get paid that well. It is very difficult to do reviews on products unless you get them for free. The reason we do not do more gear reviews on this channel, believe me, I would love to do a new gear review every week. I can't afford it. I flat can't afford it because I buy everything. If somebody sent me a guitar, even if I sent it back, even if I gave it away, I don't care. I don't want all the stuff. And that's the other thing. I don't want a bunch of gear. I don't even know where to put it. But I've gotten free pedals before. I've gotten a lot of free stuff. Not a lot, but these guys are getting piles of stuff every month. They have so much stuff. There's a lot of people that get so much stuff to review that they can't keep up with it. Most of us don't. Most of us don't get free gear. And if we did, it would be nice because then we would review it and we would be able to share that with you. being against somebody getting something for free, there's two problems with that. One, it's not free. Okay. If I've got 20 grand in equipment to make a video and it takes me 9-10 hours to make a video that's 4 minutes long or 7 minutes long, then that $250 pedal isn't free. Even that $1,000 guitar isn't free. It's not free. Then it becomes, to the other side of it, it becomes paid. So, and anybody that makes a video where somebody got something for free or they, were paid or whatever, needs to click the little box on YouTube. This has paid content. You just need to have the integrity to do all those things, which I don't know why people don't. Unless, let's see. Let's see. It's probably a matter of fatigue, but I hate the killer videos. Look at the new Gibson, this new Fender killer, or look, blah, blah, this new Helix killer. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand why people would get tired of that stuff. I think your demos are good as they can get, considering the internet limitations. Man, I sure try. Usefulness depends on the review. Most ABs are meaningless. Yes. Reviews that show off functionality and how to use gear are helpful. Okay, yep. I partially disagree on the review utility. Okay, I want to hear this. This is cool. If they are reviewing build quality is worth it, I always look for certain phrase in reviews. It's great for the price. Just say it's bad but cheap. I wish more people would say it's a good thing this guitar doesn't cost more than $500. I wish more people would say that. It's good for the money is probably one of my that's the most annoying thing. I try to never say that in context. Like, it's good for the money is dumb. It's like, so it's not good, but it's a good thing it's not expensive is what you're saying. Like, that's what I think. Oh man, that's funny. A pleasant exception for ABs are the Zilla Cabs speaker comparison videos. They put a lot of effort into showing the differences between various speakers. So that's an interesting one. If you have the resources to do it, it does help, right? I've watched this is in totally another category, but like I've watched like ammunition tests, and the guys that can go rent the $100,000 camera and you can go like however many frames per second and see it in super slow motion and like watch it go through the gel block and do all, that's neat. But we don't, not all of us have the resources to do that. Yeah, for sure. It's totally true. Let's see. The 1% and the top 1% might be able to discern a difference. For the rest of us, there's no difference. No, it's totally true. Absolutely true. Content creators make like 75 cents an hour. Hating on them getting free gear is strange. I agree. Confirmation bias is not exclusive to Harley Benton players. It's not exclusive. You're right. It's not exclusive. They're pretty good at it though. I hate when people don't click the box for paid sponsor. I think, well, you're supposed to. And technically, you are at risk of being demonetized for not doing it. So you should do it. It costs more to make the video than any free piece of gear I have received. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's totally true. Eyeballs equal dollars, but they don't. If you really understood what YouTubers make for money, it's dumb. It's dumb. I can't live on it. I don't think reviews are useless. You just have to beware when someone seems to be a fan of everything. Yeah, that's interesting. When you are a fan of stuff, so this is an interesting one because I fall under that category in a sense. because I don't think it's appropriate. Well, there's two things here. One is, if it's really bad, I'm not even going to do anything. People have sent me stuff, and I'm like, nope, not even going on the channel. Not even doing it. We turn down a lot of Chinese garbage every week. Microphones, speakers, guitar stands, I don't know, all kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm just not doing it. So, chances are that it will fall. If you see something on my channel, I do like it, which by default means that everything you see on my channel, I like. But I'm only going to show you stuff that I think is really cool. If I think it's cool, I'm going to share it. If I don't think it's cool, I'm not going to share it. If I think something's really cool and then find out there's a problem, I'll tell you. But that doesn't mean that I don't like it or there's no reason to own it. And then the other part of this is I really, really feel strongly that most pieces of gear are not bad. And that just because I don't have a place for it here doesn't mean that nobody does. So if you go buy I don't know, some little $150 amp, you're going to think that's bad. Like it's a bad piece of gear. We talked about this last week. But it's not. It fits who it's for. It makes sense, right? Just not you. The Fender endorsed channels have been eating well at the moment. I actually have Fender affiliate stuff. Nobody ever uses. I'd never make any money from Fender, ever. I'm trying to think of the last time I made any money from affiliate products from Fender. It's probably been a year. Let's see. The problem with Helix Killer, Gibson Killer, and the funny faces are they work. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of that either. I think that every product is made for a purpose, and you should figure out what that purpose is. Nothing's going to kill a Gibson for you. There's nothing you will be able to tell me, unless, I don't know, unless every employee gets accused of killing puppies at Gibson, then maybe I'll be like, oh, dang. If Gibson employees are killing puppies on their lunch hour while they're making my guitar, yeah, I'm not going to buy their guitar anymore. Outside of that, you're not going to tell me that there's anything better. Like, there might be, but that doesn't mean that guitar isn't amazing. It's awesome. I love it. Do you? Then go buy one. If you don't buy one. But you're not going to, every piece of equipment, gear, anything, brand, anything should just, to me, stand on its own. Why do we have to compare everything? There's no sense in comparing stuff, in my opinion. It's all different. Unless you're a person who's like, okay, all I need is a staple gun. I just need to staple these missing kitty flyers to this telephone pole. I just need it to be a staple gun. So then do you buy a Stanley or do you buy a Cobalt or do you buy a Milwaukee staple gun? No, you probably go to Dollar General and buy whatever cheap ass thing they got there. That's besides the point. Doesn't matter. You just need to get it done, right? But when we're having fun, playing guitar, enjoying things, which is what we should be doing instead of comparing it, then you're going to enjoy little things about all the things. So most people have more than one brand of guitar. Most people, a lot of people do have more than one brand of guitar. If they have more than one guitar, they have more than one model. They have more than one, there's the Telly guy who has like 17 Tellys and this one's got like this color pickguard and that color pickguard. And this one's got the Fender is like right here on the headstock instead of right here. Those guys. I got friends like that. But most people, if they have more than one guitar, they got more than one kind, they got more than one brand, they got more than one, whatever, because it's neat. Just because it's neat. So why do we even need to compare? Why do we even need to compare Alder versus Ash? Who cares? Like, that's honestly why I say tone wood doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. Like, does it make a difference? You can argue that, but it doesn't matter because they're both cool. So who cares, right? And that's why I think A/B testing is dumb too. Because so here's the other thing. When we talk about A/B testing, and this is really important, okay? I tried to bring this out yesterday in a video. It's the first time I really thought about talking about it. And so I think I'm going to really bring this up and really kind of parse it out a little bit more next time we talk about pickups and stuff. Like when most people do like a pickup review or an introduction, they're just like, oh yeah, it sounds awesome. And they'll say, but what I don't think people realize is electricity is electricity, right? So when we make electricity with a guitar pickup at particular frequencies, no matter what you do after that, that thing's always going to do that. So if you put that pickup in a 335, or you put it in a Strat, or you put it in a Tele, or you put it in a Les Paul, or you put it in an SG, the same fundamentals are always going to be there. And so this is where we get into a situation where somebody says, well, I saw this review and it didn't sound good to me, so I didn't buy it. It's because you were watching it wrong. Okay. And I do this too. We've all done it. Instead of like, wait a minute, fundamentally, what is it doing? Is it doing what it says it's supposed to do? Is it doing a thing that solves a goal that I want? He can't really do it because he doesn't have the situation. But if I put that in my situation, I bet it would, right? You kind of have to think further than just clicking, if that makes sense. And the really good reviewers, I've just now kind of thought about this being an aspect of how I review stuff. And so I'm going to really try to get better at it. Cause I've not been good at this either. So I really want to concentrate on that. It's like, what are the fundamentals of this thing that can apply across more than one genre, more than one amp, more than one playing style, more than whatever, and try to get those points across more than this thing sounds awesome. Because you can say this thing sounds awesome and you can make anything sound awesome, but why? So that how can you apply it in your situation more than me just saying this thing sounds awesome, right? And I've not been good at that. And so I'm going to focus on that. But I'm also going to start watching videos differently so that I can pick up on those things better. Like the fundamentals of how stuff works. I think it's super important. The amount of decent guitars I've seen shunned in A/B tests only because one has slightly less treble response. One, blah, blah. Yes, I agree. I don't even compare my own guitars against each other. Exactly. Let's see. I treat some channels as pure entertainment. Yeah, me too. What are your thoughts on the new NFS model from PRS? I don't have one of those, and I think they're cool. I don't know that I have a thought about them. I think they're cool because they're a little different. I mean, obviously, it's just a Tele with it. No, it's kind of I don't know. It's like, it's a warpy looking thing. First of all, the shape of it and stuff. And the pickups, I don't know that I have an opinion on the pickups because I haven't really spent enough time with one. Like I played one a little bit at a store once, but that's not always fair. I would love to spend some time with one for sure. I'm sure the build quality is amazing, even on the Korean or the Indonesian ones. Yeah, I'm sure they're awesome. I just don't have one. I just haven't had a chance to really think about it. Or, have my own experience to tell you. Another red flag with reviews is when everyone is reviewing the same gear and saying the same thing. The level of agreement is impossible, and to me, it's more coordination or a script. So what will happen with that is there's going to be embargo dates for certain products. So like, let's say a new guitar comes out, and that's why they all come out on the same day, because there's an embargo date. They were sent the thing ahead of time. They were sent with a press, like this is the talking points, and you will probably hear it. And you'll hear probably two main schools of thought there. You know which one I'm going to fall into. So let's say, I actually did get to participate in one of those. I got to participate in the when the PRS Silver Sky SE came out. And no, I had to buy that guitar. I bought that guitar. Yeah, because I bought two. I bought a American one and a SE on the same day, or within a week of each other. But it was at the same time. It was part of that. And the majority of everybody's like, this thing's just as good as the other one. And I'm like, no, it ain't. And here's why. Mostly because you're going to hear people say they're going to try to be nice. I will tell you, I love Paul Reed Smiths. I really do. I have two of them. I think they're great. I want another one. I have one in mind that I want. I really do want another one. The gal who handles like YouTubers and reviews and stuff is amazing. She's super awesome. She's sent me stuff. She's gave me stuff. She's lent me stuff. She's super cool. But Paul Reed Smith, I will tell you, after the last review I did for them, I've never gotten a thing after that. They are one of those folks that's like, and this is the company more than the reviewer. What happens is, I think reviewers get into a self-censorship situation because if they say anything bad about it, they won't get any more free stuff. And that happened to me with Paul Reed Smith. They've never sent me anything again after I did a PRS 594 SE video. Because I didn't really like the pickups. I didn't think they were that great. That guitar is amazing. It's so good, but I don't like the pickups. And so they didn't send me another one after that. Never sent me another one. So, I think that's the manufacturer that causes that sort of self-censorship where you get into a situation where everybody says kind of the same thing because they don't want to bite off the hand that feeds them when it comes to free gear and stuff. And I think this is also a reason I don't get free gear is because when something needs to be said, I'm not afraid to say it. And then all of a sudden, I don't see any more guitars. Oh, well. You see me super upset about it. Gibson sent you one of the new studio lights. Yes, they did. They did. Yep. The skill level of the player is more important than the actual gear. A world-class player can play a guitar with the right attack based on the rig they're playing into and make it sound amazing. That's another thing, man. That's another thing. Is it's hard because I guess this is on the viewer and on the reviewer. On the reviewer side, yeah, he can make any guitar sound awesome. On the viewer side, most of us aren't as good as the person on the playing it. That's something I always think about with a lot of stuff. Like, well, for me, it comes into play with firearms. So, like, if I watch somebody shooting a pistol at a range, they're way better than me, and I could be like, well, I'm never going to be that good, but that gun still sucks. Right? So everybody's like, they don't say this. I'm never going to be that good, but that guitar still sucks. I need a better one. Okay. Really? Like, you're not as good as the guitar. I'm not as good as the guitar. So why does it suck? That's a funny one. That's a funny one too. What pickups in the PRS 8515S? I would put our center punches in that. That's what I would do. You'll get a lot more clarity with them. Don't use the resistor on the volume knob. You don't need that because our center punches actually work. So you don't need a resistor. I tell you, the smaller brands are less critical. I've pointed out some things I've had issues with, and they still send stuff. Yeah, that's cool. I dig that. I like that a lot. I think that's cool. I think what I look for when I listen to when I watch a review or do an A/B test or see an A/B test is how practical is it? So an A/B test, for example, here's my thing with these. People want to get so critical between this thing and that thing. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever kind of gear. And they're like, okay, I have $700 headphones on. I always get these comments. Well, I listened to it through my studio monitors and my super controlled, and I couldn't tell a difference. So therefore, you're wrong. Okay. If you have to, what is the margin of error, right? On thinking a thing is cool. That's the question. So this guitar is this guitar is this. Let's take the PRS Silver Sky SE versus the factory one, right? Can you tell the difference between these two pickups? Or if I do a A/B test between something we make versus a stock one, okay? If it is a thing where I have to go like, okay, I'm listening in this super controlled environment and I can barely tell the difference, then I'm not going to make the video. Because it's within a margin of error that doesn't make sense. If you have to fight that hard to hear the difference between two things, then why are we even fighting about it? If it doesn't make a demonstrable difference, then I'm not ever going to even make the product in the first place. Like, if my P90 wasn't way better than most of the P90s in the world, the only one that I would say where I would be like, I could take it or leave it, is that custom shop Gibson that I have over there. Every other P90 in the world that I've ever played, our stuff is so worlds better that I can put it on any video, any comparison, anywhere, and I don't care. It's fine. If it was not that good, I wouldn't even make the product, much less make the video. So that's how I feel about it. If it's something that's so this versus that teeny tiny margin of error kind of stuff, I'm not even going to make the product. And then that makes it sort of, I'm not interested in the product as it pertains to an A/B test. So therefore, the A/B test in general is not that important to me. My thing is, if you like something, why do you have to compare it? So I'm going to tell you how I watch YouTube. If I see a video and it has a product in it and I'm like, that's interesting. And I start watching it and I'm like, oh, it does some neat things. Oh, and it's also not a piece of crap because they used it for a month and it didn't break. So that's good. And it's okay. I'm willing to pay the money because it seems neat. To me, that's a good review, right? I don't need to get super like teeny tiny little intricacies, this and that and this and that. And well, this output jack is a 1/2 inch to the left. And so if I put it next to this one pedal, oh crap, I can't buy it now. Makes no sense. I'm not like that. My feeling is if the brand who makes the thing puts a bunch of stuff on the box, does the thing do all the things that it says on the box? If it does, it's probably good. Whether you're willing to pay for it or not, that's up to you. But if it says it's going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and the reviewer plugs it in, and he's like, it does this, this, and this, and this, and this, except for this last thing, it really sucks at. They say it does it, but it really sucks at it. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I need to kind of refigure, whether I'm going to buy this thing or not, because they designed it to do that and it doesn't seem to do what it's designed to do. Well, then maybe I don't want it. But comparing it to something else, or maybe I already have something exactly like it. So maybe there's a little bit of comparison there. A good example would be the Helix one thing versus this Boss pedal thing, right? Like a lot of people are going to go, okay, well, I just want the Helix one because it does way more stuff, and this Boss thing, okay, that's cool. But you don't have to put it like science. It doesn't need to be science. It's not science, I like seeing my guitars being played. Yeah, Me too. It's fun. Yeah, and I think we should just honestly what pickups in the PRS 8515S? Yes, I don't like the 8515Ss at all. No, I don't like them. I guess that's part of the reason why I have not bought a humbucker PRS yet, because I don't really like their neck pickups. I have a PRS humbucker in my Fiore, but it's a bridge pickup and it's fine, you know. But to be honest with you, that's all it is. It's fine. I just love the rest of the guitar so much that I kind of don't care about the pickup in it, which is sort of weird. But if any of my guitars that I own right now, if I was going to sell one, it would probably be the Fiore. And that's funny because when I bought that guitar and actually, I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth because I really, 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 really love that guitar. But it's not perfect because the bridge pickup is okay. I could put something else in there, I guess, but I just haven't really thought about it that much. I'm in the camp that if something is wrong with the guitar you bought online, then send it back. Oh, duh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I agree. Yeah, man. No, it's a fun conversation to have. Let me check my notes and make sure I'm not forgetting anything I was thinking about. Because that's what happens. Oh, no, this is also very important. We talked about comparing versus playing. So play more, compare less. Just let things exist on their own level. But the biggest thing is, and maybe this needs to be its entire own podcast, but chasing tone versus exploring it. It's two different things. Chasing tone versus finding out what's out there is two different things, and it's a completely different perspective on how to look at it, right? Discovering new stuff, finding new sounds, finding new functionality in products, finding new applications of old things, new applications of technology, all that kind of stuff. Exploring is way more fun and way more fulfilling than chasing tone. And because there's a difference, right? Chasing tone implies that you're looking for something that you're never going to find, where exploring is like finding out what's out there, and it's just a completely different perspective on how to look at it. Which is how I feel, you know. So yeah. Don't you make replacement Silver Sky pickups? We do. We don't sell, I will tell you, we don't sell a lot of the SE or the American ones. The American Silver Sky pickups are actually really, really, really good. I've never changed them out in mine. They're really good. The only thing they don't do well is if you play with more gain than clean, then they could stand to be replaced. I don't like how they break up. I don't like them when you play them with a fair amount of gain on them. I don't like them. But most people don't use a Silver Sky. Well, I don't want to say most people don't. The customers that I've interacted with about that guitar don't use that guitar that way, and they play relatively clean. There's a lot of folks that have actually asked, hey, do you make a replacement set for the American Silver Sky? And I'll say yes. However, what are you using your guitar for? And most of them will be like, well, I really like how clean it is. I really like this and that. And I'm like, well, then don't replace it, because it does clean super, super well. Now, the SE ones can stand to be improved for sure. They are different. But the American ones, they're really, really good. And the only reason I've never replaced them because I do play with more gain, is because I have a different guitar for that. So I have my Mike McCready Strat, and I have my other Strat, my Dylan Strat, my Shoreline Gold one, that has my version of the Mike McCready pickups in it. And so if I'm going to play, something with more gain, I'm just going to grab one of my Strats, and I want to do it with the Strat. I'm going to do it with the Strat, with one of my Strats. So if I'm going to play clean stuff, Silver Sky. If I'm going to play dirty stuff, one of my other Strats. That's kind of why. And then the Fiore is its own thing. It's a totally different flavor. It's weird. It's a totally different. It's so weird because it's the same kind of. I mean, people will say it's a Silver Sky with a humbucker in the bridge, but it's just not. It's really different. And the way you approach that guitar is different. It's probably because the neck is so different. It's really different. Yeah, no, it's neat. I love that thing though. Does PRS do something different to their humbuckers because they all seem to lack a lot of low end? I don't know the answer to why, but I agree with you. I don't know why though. Yep. Well, you guys, this has been fun. Thanks for hanging out on one of my Tuesday podcast rants. We'll have a video probably tomorrow, I think. We'll definitely have a live stream on Thursday. And I think we'll have a video on Friday too. So thanks for hanging out. It's been super fun. Make sure you go to DylanTalksTone, which is right there. You can scan that thing, or you can go to that website. You can join Patreon. You can join the YouTube member stuff. We're making more content for that lately, so check that stuff out. And make sure you check out our new pickups that we just released yesterday. And of course, you can buy this here guitar if that's something that you want as well. We will see you all tomorrow.